Bonjour à tous et bienvenue au journal. C'est un plaisir pour moi de vous retrouver une nouvelle fois. Hello, Regina Leke.
Bon après-midi, Vanessa Mela Kandem. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Widespread condemnation over viral videos of lawyers tear-gassed in a courtroom in Bonanjo, Douala. In this newscast, we shall be shedding light on the fight that broke out between defense forces and lawyers in court.
Gaz lacrymogène et actes de violence dans une salle d'audience du tribunal de première instance de Bonanjo à Douala. Les avocats qui s'opposaient à une application d'une décision de justice ont dû faire face à une réaction musclée des forces de l'ordre.
And ex-separatist fighters at the Southwest Disarmament Center have expressed disgruntlement over poor treatment given to them. Most of them complain they have families and want to go back home. At a meeting with the national coordinator of the center, Fayengo Francis, some of the ex-fighters staged a walkout in protest of Poor Treatment Plus.
En sport, le match Cameroun-Mozambique, tant attendu par les supporters des Lions indomptables, se déroulera finalement à huis clos. La décision du gouvernement camerounais a été rendue publique par le ministre Narcisse Mwele-Kombi. Entre-temps, le capitaine Choupo-Moting est toujours attendu dans la tanière.
And the Cameroon Employers Council, GCAM, has reiterated that a good tax system could foster development in Cameroon and attract more investors. Those were our major stories. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Now, ex-separatist fighters at the Southwest Disarmament Center have criticized poor treatment being meted upon them. Some of them see their family members and want to go back home to their families. In a meeting with the national coordinator of the center, Fayengo Francis, some of the ex-fighters staged a walkout of the room as a result of a protest disagreeing with poor treatment that have been meted upon them. As we end the following report with you, Ines Ondombala.
These are the voices of the ex-fighters of the Anglophone crisis who have laid down weapons and joined the Southwest Disarmament Center. The ex-fighters say ever since they integrated the DDR Center, the government has failed to integrate them, and today they are unable to convince fighters still in the bushes to drop their arms. Disgruntled ex-fighters expressed their grievances in Boya as the national coordinator of the Disarmament Center visited the Southwest region.
Our head of state, His Excellency President, stressed fellowship, fatherly and fellowship to the ex-fighters. We don't want to take the risk to send these guys on the streets. We're going to start in the next few days the construction of a huge center in Boya.
Fayengo Francis reassured them of government determination to integrate them in the society. He told ex-fighters that the government is working towards bringing long-lasting solutions to their problems.
We should not take the full France and give to this boys. They will not do anything. It's better to train them so that tomorrow they can be useful to their families and they can be useful to the country.
The visit of the national coordinator of the Disarmament Center in Boya was aimed at evaluating activities carried out in the center in favor of the ex-fighters, and also to give them the head of state support in kind and cash.
In our top story, we now take you to the Court of First Instance in Bonanjo, Douala, Litua region of the country, where Morindi has been investigating a fight that broke out between defense forces and lawyers in court last night. Now, some of the lawyers were tear gas and some sustained severe injuries. Hello, Morindi, what's the situation right now?
Yes, good afternoon, Gina. Good afternoon, Vanessa Miller. I'm right here at the court of first instance in Bonanjo, Douala, where lawyers in their robes were tear gassed last night. A video that went viral on the social media showing a fight between the military or defense forces and lawyers has provoked widespread condemnation, according to reports. Two lawyers of the Cameroon Bar Association or residents in Douala are being accused of contempt on a magistrate, attempted corruption and false pretense. They were remanded in prison custody on the 9th of November 2020 at the New Bell Central Prison. Their first appearance in court was at the court of first instance that was scheduled for 10th November 2020 for hearing. On the said occasion, lawyers mobilized in large numbers to show solidarity to their colleagues and filed in an application for bail for their colleagues in accordance with the provisions of the Cameroon Criminal Procedure Code after hinted submission from the lawyers for the defense and the state prosecutors. The presiding judge in charge of the case adjourned the matter to the 25th of November 2020 for ruling on the application for bail that was submitted by defense lawyers. Voices in contempt started rising, and the judge suspended the court session. And thereafter, gendarmes and police officers present in court hall and its surroundings entered the court of first instance in their numbers and started shooting tear gas and firearms on lawyers to disperse them. That is what happened yesterday. But for now, we've been talking to a lot of lawyers since morning, and some of them hold divided views.
The lawyer, our colleagues, had problems with their clients that finally went into the office of a judge who rendered a judgment, and it would appear they collected monies to give a judge, and from every indication she did not receive the money, and the clients, the family of the client was requesting for a refund, and it degenerated to the point where the president of the court was seized. And thereafter, you see, we are not talking, lawyers are not coming out to say that what their colleagues did was right or wrong. We're coming on point of law. That is, you know, as per the Criminal Procedure Code, detention under police custody is an exception, it's not the general rule. Meaning, therefore, that if somebody is accused or suspected to have committed an offense, this person, prima facie, benefits from bail, granting of bail.
From the court of first instance in Bonanjo, I am Maureen Nana Thierry for Canal de International.
And of course, Ndimoro, you equally caught up with another lawyer, Barrister Tamfo Richard, who equally expressed his feeling regarding the situation that happened at the court of first instance. Let's take a listen.
What happened yesterday is inexplicable, unacceptable. The courts are considered to be the temples of lawyers. What has happened yesterday, where you have forces of law and others shooting tear gas and firing arms on lawyers is incomprehensible. It saddens the heart of a lawyer, because as a lawyer, that's the only way you can express yourself. You can feel secured. If you can't feel secured in the courts, then there is no need of calling yourself a lawyer. The feeling I have is a feeling of sorrow, because we have touched the bottom line.
We'll now take you to the southwest region of Cameroon, where 5 out of 8 people abducted at the Livanda Congo village in Limber have been set free following a military operation. Now, the people of Livanda, who earlier condemned the abduction, are now demanding for the release of 3 others who are still in captivity. Ines Ondwambala has the details of that story. And we're just informing you about the release of 5 people at the Livanda Congo village in Limbe, southwest region of the country, who were abducted. Alongside others, they have been released, but 3 others are still in captivity. Ines Onduambala comes back to the story and talking about how the people of Livanda have expressed their frustration following the arrest of these people. Her reports.
At least 10 persons are reported to have been abducted in Livanda Congo village by unidentified gunmen in Limbe. Eyewitness accounts have it that most of the victims, who happens to be women, went out to buy foodstuff from Upper Towe markets in Limbe. While they were seated at the market square waiting for farmers to arrive, gunmen stormed the area, brutalizing and kidnapping 6 women and 4 men. 2 hours later, 2 out of the 10 persons abducted were released, a pregnant woman and a teenager.
These people, they don't cause Anglophone crisis. And also, may they be arrested, some of these people, they get a mass population for their house, where now IDPs, they don't live from different affected areas, the way they don't come out for inside northwest and southwest region. They don't come for same, they can't find place where they go hide their head, and they look and say, now only for live in that village, they feel hide their head.
The people of Livanda Congo village, through their traditional ruler, are condemning the acts carried out by gunmen.
And when they go manage, so then too, they go come, they see how they fit send picking them to for school. Now they take them go for bush. Wait till they don't do, wait till they really get these people where they take and go for bush. Wait till be their problem with inside Anglophone crisis where they get for suffer these consequences. So at the call on any person where you get hand for this kidnapping, make it release whosoever way they take it enter out and for bush.
It is worth noting that some of the victims are said to be internally displaced persons who are in Livanda Congo village in Limbe to seek refuge.
And 30 soldiers wounded on different war fronts in Cameroon have received their attestation after undergoing a program in agro-pastoral production. In the following report, Kejang Henry Atembe says these soldiers will no longer be able to go back to the war fronts, but will now be subjected, or rather will now be sent to other departments in the army. His reports.
In 2019, we were in Waza, and we were 2 cars that were going to Nigeria. So on the way to Dabanga, the BH, the Boko Haram group members, or we call it terrorists, they attacked those civilians and they killed 3 civilians.
Juba is one amongst thousands of soldiers wounded in different conflicts across Cameroon. Like his military mates, he has received reconversion training after recovering from his wounds when their battalion fell into Boko Haram ambush. Juba has been trained in fish farming and how to raise animals and the transformation of fruits, food and dairy products. This first batch of 30 soldiers of the Military Elite Corps B have received their attestations after undergoing training at the Agro World Group situated at Misoletu, a farming village in the Sanaga Maritime Division, littoral region of Cameroon.
You know, our army is engaged on many areas where there are crises, and where we are engaged, there's a sense behind it. The sense is the service of Cameroon, the service of our nation.
The governor of the littoral region, Samuel Dieudonné Iva Dubois, used the occasion to thank the promoter of the Agro World Group, Boris Yudom, for accepting to train these soldiers in his facility. These soldiers will no more go to the war front because of their disabilities, but will carry out different tasks from the operational command base. Though moving upright, most of them have amputated limbs and arms. That is why the military corps decided to train them, reconvert them to carry out other assignments.
C'est une affaire qui défraie la chronique depuis hier. Des vidéos rendues virales montrent des avocats gazés par les forces de l'ordre. Ces derniers s'opposent à une décision du juge du renvoi de l'affaire de 2 de leurs confrères accusés de flagrant délit de corruption. Pour avoir plus d'informations, allons tout de suite retrouver Catherine Mokouri et Thierry Nana qui se trouvent actuellement au tribunal de première instance de Bonanjo.
Bonjour Vanessa Melakamdem, bonjour Regina. Je me trouve actuellement au tribunal de première instance de Bonanjo. C'est ici que se sont déroulés les faits dont les vidéos sont devenues virales sur la toile justement, démontrant un groupe d'avocats qui ont été gazés par les forces de maintien de l'ordre. D'après les informations glanées, ces derniers s'opposaient avec véhémence à la décision du juge dans une affaire où sont impliqués deux de leurs confrères. Une affaire complexe où les deux avocats sont accusés de flagrant délit de corruption dans un cas qui remonte et leur défense souhaitait leur faire comparaître libre. Le juge a plutôt renvoyé le procès au 25 novembre, ce qui impliquait le retour à la prison de Newbel de ces deux avocats, d'où la grogne justement de leur défense et du corps d'avocats venus accompagner cette affaire. Ici, que ce soit près du procureur ou bien du président du tribunal, rien ne filtre. Pendant ce temps, les avocats, dans leur grande majorité, dénoncent les faits, les violences qui ont eu lieu hier. Je vous propose d'écouter justement Maître Kamoua qui s'exprime sur la question.
Les faits sont là. Nous, on ne refuse pas que des avocats pourraient être entendus au tribunal, mais que la loi préveut que la liberté provisoire, donc mise en, comment dirais-je, garde à vue, mise en garde à vue, ce n'est qu'une exception. Donc, quand on trouve un avocat dans une situation qui est un délit, que la loi a prévu que dans des cas comme ça, le suspect ou le mis en cause peut bénéficier de liberté provisoire, et un procureur de la République, en sachant qu'il travaille avec des avocats, s'est mis à la renvoyer en prison. Pour nous, c'est terrible.
Vous l'avez donc suivi, Vanessa Melakamdem, Regina. C'est une affaire complexe qui ne risque pas se terminer cette journée de mercredi. Depuis le tribunal de première instance de Bonanjo, Thierry Nana et Catherine Moukouri, nous vous reviendrons bien sûr pour plus amples informations.
Merci Catherine Moukouri. Nous précisons justement que nous aurons plus d'informations ce soir au journal de 19h50. La question des frais d'APE continue à faire débat dans la ville d'Edea. Ces frais qui augmentent chaque année tout en variant d'un établissement à un autre suscitent moult interrogations chez les parents d'élèves. Les responsables de ces associations, quant à eux, soutiennent que ces fonds sont utilisés à bon escient. Le reportage de Christian Bock.
20 000, 22 000, 23 500 et 25 000, ce sont les sommes déboursées par les parents d'élèves pour le paiement des frais d'APE dans les établissements de la Sanaga maritime. Des sommes qui ne font pas l'unanimité dans la communauté éducative.
Pour que l'établissement évolue, il faut l'apport du parent. Le parent contribue pour l'évolution de l'école, de l'établissement et pour l'évolution de l'enfant.
Nous, les parents, nous ne connaissons pas effectivement pourquoi il y a l'augmentation. C'est chaque établissement qui impose son montant et ça nous fait subir, nous, les parents. Si un parent a 3 enfants et on lui demande de payer 25 000, il est obligé de payer 75 000.
Face à ces critiques, les responsables des associations des parents d'élèves tentent d'apporter les éléments de réponse.
On a largement discuté avec les parents par rapport aux accessoires, puisque les enfants font des stages professionnels pendant les congés de Pâques. C'est ça qui nous a poussé à augmenter de 5 000.
Au lycée classique de Deya, par exemple, les réalisations faites ici sont appréciées à sa juste valeur par les parents d'élèves.
Également, nous avons promis aux enseignants des tables et des chaises dans les salles de classe. Nous avons promis, ce qui prouve que nous sommes proches, non seulement de nos enfants, mais également des enseignants.
Lors de l'Assemblée générale de cette association des parents d'élèves, de cet établissement, les parents ont fixé le cap sur les priorités de l'APE pour l'année 2020-2021.
Ils ont mis beaucoup d'accent sur la pédagogie. La deuxième, c'est la sécurité des élèves. La troisième, c'est la lutte contre la pandémie.
Si les frais d'APE sont exigibles dans les établissements scolaires et reconnus par les pouvoirs publics, il n'en demeure pas moins que les taux arrêtés d'un établissement à un autre continuent à couler beaucoup d'encre et de salive.
Le diocèse de Balmayo a abrité hier la 2e session annuelle de la conférence épiscopale provinciale de Yaoundé. Les évêques ont fait l'audit du chemin parcouru par l'Église sur le plan de ses missions. Ces hommes de Dieu prônent une évangélisation accrue de l'Église. Les précisions d'Alain Geslin-Kanga et Bertrand Tatsé.
Une rencontre solennelle des hommes de Dieu dans le diocèse de Balmayo. Les évêques se sont réunis à l'occasion de la deuxième session annuelle de la conférence épiscopale provinciale de Yaoundé mardi dernier. Ils ont évalué les missions accomplies par l'Église à travers les diocèses.
Un exercice d'audit. Est-ce que nos diocèses correspondent à la mission de l'Église qui est de proclamer l'amour de Dieu, proclamer l'Évangile? Est-ce qu'ils correspondent à la mission de l'Église qui est célébrer le mystère pascal? Célébrer le mystère pascal, ça signifie, par le sacrement du salut, que toute personne humaine se sache aimée de Dieu et sauvée par Dieu.
Un mystère qui se passe dans la vie du Christ. L'Église est appelée à être aux côtés de l'humanité, là où elle espère et là où elle souffre.
Défendre les libertés. L'Église est présente, et je le dis avec émotion, partout où les enfants sont massacrés et qui nous rappellent, n'est-ce pas, que des victimes peuvent être massacrées. Voyez-vous. Donc, la CEPI nous ramène à cette œuvre que l'Église accomplit au quotidien.
Cette session d'audit est placée sous le thème « La mission de l'Église à partir de l'Évangile Gaudium ». La CEPI veut mettre désormais l'accent sur l'Évangile et la foi célébrée et celle pratiquée, ce qui engage à la reconnaissance mutuelle et au dialogue.
Autre information, autre activité connexe. Ils viennent d'achever des formations sanctionnées par des diplômes remis des mains du gouverneur de la région du littoral. La cérémonie Nous reviendrons certainement sur cet élément. La suite de ce journal, c'est avec vous, Regina Cliquez.
Thank you. Has witnessed a 5-month delay program. The execution rate currently stands at just 12% with less than 31 months to go. Now a follow-up committee.
Since the historic date of December 12, 2019, day of the laying of the foundation stone, this is the level of work for the construction of the new National Assembly headquarters building at Ngwaikele neighborhood. Execution this far stands at 12%. The architectural complex gradually leaving the ground on this over 9-hectare site. It is to evaluate how the work is progressing that the Vice President of the Lower House of Parliament visited the site Tuesday. Honorable Theodore Datuo and members of the follow-up committee inspected all and expressed satisfaction with the evolution this far, despite the 5 months delay by the COVID-19 pandemic and the pending challenge to totally evacuate the site. With all this in place, therefore, work is sure to gather the required speed needed for the 4 big building projects to progress. The 14th-floor tower.
The semicircle has a capacity of over 500 seats, which will include 500 parliamentarians and talking, but also there will be seats for guests, visitors, that means the public, and also seats for observers.
And the firefighter and gendarmerie barracks. Fruit of Sino-Cameroon cooperation, the friendly, brotherly nation injects 52.5 billion CFA franc into the project, whose execution will last 42 months. A source of employment for Cameroonian youths, whose rate increases as the work progresses. And over 70% of working material are from Cameroonian origin.
Now, Cameroon's employer SOCIETE GCAM has reiterated that a good tax system can help to boost development and attract investors. In a document published by the employer SOCIETE titled The White Paper on Cameroon's Economy, the businessmen cited transport sector, agriculture and energy as areas that could help bail Cameroon out of an economic mess. Our reporter Gladys Ambodiban was there and now tells us more. And we were just saying that Cameroon's employer SOCIETE GCAM has reiterated that a good tax system can help boost development in Cameroon and attract investors. Now, in a document published by the employers SOCIETE titled The White Paper on Cameroon's Economy, the business persons highlighted agriculture, energy, and the transport sectors as areas that could help bail Cameroon out of an economic mess. Gladys Ambodiban.
The White Paper on Cameroon's economy is a document that depicts the realities of the country's economic situation and recommendations that could improve the dwindling economy. Published by the employers cartel GICAM, it was presented in Douala on November 10, 2020.
The idea is first to ask for a better prioritization of the sectors in which we want to intervene. So we talked about being able to invest in energy, being able to invest in agriculture, and being able to invest in transportation and also digital economy.
From the document, there is need to ameliorate the business environment to attract investors with the urgency to improve the tax system.
We are asking about increasing non-fiscal revenues because we think that if we do that, we'll be able to have better incentives in terms of fiscal taxation. We are also asking about rationalizing expenses, government expenses. And the last thing is also about modernizing justice, because if we don't have a good and attractive business climate, we cannot reach the development objective. There is not a real dialogue between the private sector and the state. We won't achieve anything.
With predictions of a fall in Cameroon's GDP to minus 1.2% by the end of 2020 as a result of COVID-19, GICAM was obliged to come out with this document that has also been presented to the public sector and donor organizations. If taken into consideration, it could help Cameroon reach emergence by 2035.
Vanessa Melakandem, you have some news on sports.
Nous allons effectivement poursuivre ce journal avec le sport. Le match Cameroun-Mozambique se disputera à huis clos. Ainsi en a décidé le gouvernement camerounais. Une mauvaise nouvelle pour les fans des Lions indomptables qui attendent ce moment depuis 22 ans. Entre-temps, dans la tanière, le capitaine Choupo-Moting se fait toujours attendre. La séance d'entraînement d'hier a causé du grabuge à l'entrée du stade de la réunification. Marc Chouamo, Lissano Djakou signe ce reportage.
Les Lions doivent nous trouver dans le stade et non hors du stade.
Du grabuge à l'entrée officielle du stade de la réunification de Douala ce mardi après-midi. Journalistes et agents de sécurité s'envoient des flèches. Au centre de la discorde, l'accès au stade d'entraînement avant l'arrivée des équipes.
Nous sommes venus longtemps avant et c'est ce qu'on demande. Les Lions devraient nous trouver déjà installés pour qu'on ait la possibilité de travailler pendant les 15 minutes. Mais on nous empêche d'entrer. Quand même les Lions arrivent.
Après l'arrivée du bus des Lions indomptables, puis celui des Mambas du Mozambique, tout rentre dans l'ordre. La presse a droit à ses 15 minutes et constate l'absence du capitaine des Lions indomptables, Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, qui souffrirait de douleurs musculaires, laissé aux soins au Bayern de Munich. Le sélectionneur Tony Conchechao n'a pas encore officialisé son forfait. Sur le terrain, la vingtaine de joueurs s'est livrée à un léger footing, puis au jeu réduit. Pour cause de protocole Covid-19 imposé par la CAF, les supporters des Lions basés ici à Douala ne verront pas leur zéro. La possibilité d'avoir quelques spectateurs au stade ce jeudi a été balayée d'un revers de la main par la décision du ministre des Sports ce mardi après-midi, prescrivant le huis clos.
On testait les gens pour voir s'ils ont ça, on les met dehors.
Pour d'autres, s'ils ont pu patienter pendant 22 ans, ce huis clos n'est qu'un léger détail. La santé d'abord.
C'est normal parce que pour le Covid, c'est notre sécurité et la sécurité des Lions. Donc pour moi, je vais juste les encourager et les souhaiter bon match.
Demain mercredi, place à la reconnaissance du stade de la réunification par les deux équipes avant l'affrontement de ce jeudi à 17h.
Et c'est la fin du journal. Prochain point de l'information tout à l'heure à 15h30. Bon après-midi, Regina Leke.
Good afternoon, Vanessa Melakandem. Thank you so much for watching. We shall be back again tomorrow with all your news and current affairs. But for now, it's goodbye and God bless.